All right, y'all, we have a super disturbing worst-case scenario press conference that Trump just did in the Oval Office the other day. He's, of course, responding to questions about the Jeffrey Epstein war, and this thing veers itself into a ditch right away. So we'll get to that in just a second. But first, he posted something on Lie Social, and this should really open everybody's eyes up to what's actually going on with this Jeffrey Epstein war. So on February 28th, he said, "The Iran war is already won." Then on March 1st, he said, "Tehran will be taken in 3 to 4 days." Then a day after that, he said, "It's about 4 to 5 weeks. It'll be about 4 to 5 weeks." And now he's openly saying this could be a forever war. A forever war. So he said this: "The United States munition stockpiles have, at the medium and upper medium grade, never been higher or better. As was stated to me today, we have virtually unlimited supply of these weapons. Wars can be fought forever and very successfully just using these supplies." So the guy who ran for office and repeatedly said, "We're not going to get in the Middle East. We wasted $8 trillion in the Middle East. That was stupid. The war in Iraq was stupid. Why were we doing that? We should never do that. I'll never get you in the Middle East. Kamala will, but I'll never get you in the Middle East." And now here he is saying wars can be fought forever. Also, I should point out, the fact that he's saying, "Oh, we have endless munitions. I don't know what you're talking about." That is further validation that all of the reports are true, that we're running out of interceptors. All the reports say we're running out of interceptors, and once that happens, Iran is, they could do way more damage than they're doing right now, and they're already doing a tremendous amount of damage in the region to our allies, to our bases, etc. Right? But this, to me, reads as validation. Oh, we're definitely running out of those shits. He's like, "Actually, it's great. It's never been better. Thank you very much." And he's the worst liar on planet Earth. One of the things you'll realize with Trump is that if you just assume whatever the exact opposite of what he says is the real thing, then you're going to be right the overwhelming majority of the time. Whatever he says, just flip it, and that's the truth. Okay, it's pretty reliable trick there. But the admission, forever, we'll do a forever war. Okay, but we're just getting started here because this gets worse and worse. So the White House is now posting goofy ass shit like this. "President Trump isn't interested in endless wars. He's interested in ending decades-long chaos in the Middle East." Then they post this goofy graphic with him trying to hit you with like the blue steel stare, like, "I'm a serious man" stare. And it says, "Critics say President Donald Trump's decision to strike Iran is a violation of his promise not to engage in forever wars. In fact, the opposite is true. Trump is not starting a forever war in Iran. He's ending one." Did a fucking 7th grader write this? "Actually, if you really think about it, by starting a war, he's actually ending a war." What? They say, "Well, the war actually started against us in 1979. Okay, so then why did you wait all the way until your second term, a year into your second term, before you responded? If we've been at war since 1979, why didn't Trump get in there in 2017 and immediately say, 'We got to fight back. We're under attack. We're at war'?" What a ridiculous notion. And by the way, as everybody should point out, they say it started in 1979. No, bitch, it started in 1953. We overthrew their democratically elected leader who was going to nationalize their oil to help the people of Iran. But Western oil corporations were like, "Well, we can't have that." So the CIA and MI6 went in there, overthrew their democratically elected leader, and put in a puppet dictator, and that dictator let the Western oil corporations steal the oil, and that's why we are where we are. They say it's 1979 with the Islamic Revolution. No, it was 1953 when we overthrew Mohammad Mossadegh. That's why we had this long-term fight or disagreement, right? But we're the bully, we're the baddie. It's never been more clear. And now they have to say goofy things like this. By starting a war, he's actually ending a war. Thank you with your logic-mangling, language-mangling bullshit. I'm sure it's going to convince a lot of people. When I first saw this, I thought, like, this got to be... I thought it was like an account that some leftist that's shitposting and, like, making fun of how bad their arguments are. But no, they're actually making this argument. All right, now we go to the White House. There are so many clips here that are just going to want to make you bang your head against a concrete wall. So here he is saying, "Actually, this is going so great. Everybody's telling me it's going amazing."
I'll tell you what, I have never had more compliments on something I did. People felt it's something that had to be done. So if we have a little high oil prices for a little while, but as soon as this ends, those prices are going to drop, I believe, lower than even before.
Oh my God, bro. Oh my God. By the way, the fact that he said, "Everybody loves this, they're complimenting me," that either means literally nobody has complimented him at all because it's an epic disaster, because it is an epic disaster, or it's equally likely that the Israelis know how to play this game So they're going, oh, Mr. Pres, this is amazing. You're incredible. You're the best president ever. We're going to name a town after you. We're going to name a road after you. We might name the Knesset after you. Sir, this is the greatest thing ever. And Netanyahu knows all I have to do is tickle this guy's taint 24/7, and he'll let me fucking nuke Tehran. He doesn't give a fuck. As long as he's getting compliments, it'll be fine. So either nobody has said a positive thing about this, which is possible, or the only people that are the Israelis playing him like a motherfucking fiddle, okay? But just prepare yourself, because there's a lot of stuff here that's genuinely hard to listen to. Listen to this one.
Mr. President, what's the worst case scenario that you have planned for in Iran?
Well, I don't know if there's a worst case. We have them very much beaten militarily from the military standpoint. They're still lobbing some missiles. At some point, they won't even be able to do that.
Yeah. Does it look like we beat them? As every single, U.S. military base in the region is burnt to a crisp? Does it look like we beat them as they do precision targeted attacks on our intelligence officials in hotels? Does it look like we beat them as they jammed up the entire global oil market and they're now going to send an economic shock through the world? Does that look like we beat them when their fucking kamikaze drones are taken out like CIA headquarters in Saudi Arabia? When our consulates and our embassies are getting overrun everywhere? Does that look like we beat them?
Lobbing some missiles. At some point, they won't even be able to do that because we're hitting all of their carriers. We're hitting all of their missile stock. They built up all these missiles over the last few years. They had a lot of them. They've shot a lot of them, and we're knocking out a lot. I guess the worst case would be we do this, and then somebody takes over who's as bad as the previous person, right? That could happen. We don't want that to happen. It would probably be the worst. You go through this, and then in 5 years you realize you put somebody in who was no better.
By the way, he said this just before. That's exactly what ended up happening. That's exactly what ended up happening. Ayatollah Khomeini's son, also known as Ayatollah Khomeini, he takes over, and he's more of a hardliner. God damn it. Oh, my God. And I like how he casually admits this now. It's like, yeah, I guess it is a possibility that all this was for absolutely motherfucking nothing. Oh, my God, bro. But look, for real, though, as you know, the Israelis have a plan, and the Israelis' plan is failed state, make Iran a failed state. And that's really why they're doing this. They probably told Trump, oh, it'll go great, and they'll build statues to you, and they'll say you're the most successful president ever. But I'm telling you, the Israelis want a failed state. The other thing is the blackmail may have been used as well. But, you can get Trump to do it by buying him off and complimenting him, which they do, and you can get him to do it by blackmailing him. There probably was a sprinkle of both in there.
So we'd like to see somebody in there that's going to bring it back for the people.
So here is where he makes quite the admission, where he's trying, like a toddler, he's trying to cover his tracks here and flip the narrative, and gives away the game in the process. Listen to this.
Did Israel force your hand to launch these strikes against Iran? Did Netanyahu pull the United States into this war?
No, I might have forced their hand. You see, we were having negotiations with these lunatics, and it was my opinion that they were going to attack first.
The fact that he's like, actually, I might have forced their hand. Oh, my God, bro. Oh, my God. I've never been more certain that the Israelis were like, we're doing this, right? That they were the ones who led the way. The fact that he was like, maybe I forced their hand. Oh, my God, dog.
First, they were going to attack. If we didn't do it, they were going to attack first. I felt strongly about that. And we have great negotiators, great people that do this very successfully and have done it all their lives very successful. And based on the way the negotiation was going, I think they were going to attack first. And I didn't want that to happen. So if anything, I might have forced Israel's hand. But Israel was ready, and we were ready, and we've had a very, very powerful impact.
Again, just so everybody understands, they did not attack first. This is a lie. It's a total fucking lie. And there's already been reporting that, bro, they agreed to the hardest line asks when it came to the nuclear program, a couple hours before the Axis of Epstein attacked them. Just insane, bro. Insane. All right. Now we have a question hey, man, why is it that there's still a lot of Americans in the Middle East that are basically fucking sitting ducks and you didn't do Dickie McGee's acts to protect them? And listen here.
Commercial air travel right now is severely restricted in the Middle East, and thousands of Americans are stranded. Why wasn't there an evacuation plan, and will you send planes to get people out?
Well, because it happened all very quickly. We thought, and I thought maybe more so than most, I could ask Marco, but I thought we were going to have a situation where we were going to be attacked. They were getting ready to attack Israel.
Lie.
They were getting ready to attack others. You're seeing that right now. And a lot of those missiles that are hitting in, those are stationary. Those were aimed there for a long period of time at these other countries. So I think I was right about that. We attacked first.
They were definitely going to attack. They were going to attack. Cut to 7 seconds later. We attacked first. Oh, my God.
Then, look, we're really decimating them. They're being decimated.
Now, you know, the fact that he's like, oh yeah, this is going great for us. They know it's going absolutely horribly. But what an admission. He's like, yeah, you know, I wasn't really expecting all this response. So like, it all happened very quickly, bro. So I didn't evacuate people and now they're stuck in the Middle East and they're fucked. Oops. Tee-hee-hee. What they genuinely didn't expect, this aggressive a response from Iran, and for Iran to have such good intelligence, and for Iran to be as successful as they've been so far, destroying the massive radar system that we have there. Like, they didn't expect any of that shit. They didn't expect Iran to go after countries that like nominally told Trump, oh, you're not allowed to use our military bases for these attacks. But then meanwhile, they're whispering behind the scenes, please attack Iran. Iran was like, as soon as the Ayatollah was assassinated, they're like, it's on like Donkey Kong, bitch. I'm going after all you bitches. And so that's what took them by surprise. And so now they're like, you know, the White House is like, oh shit, we got to evacuate Egypt. We didn't see that coming. And here we are. And here we are. Fucking amateur hour, bro. Fucking amateur hour. Then we get this, which speaks more to the dementia and to the early Alzheimer's. Listen to what he says here.
That country, UK, and I love that country. I love it. My mother was born there. I love it. My mother was born there. My father was born, right? He knows all about my father. My father was born there. So, you know, very places that you sort of automatically very feel warmly about. But the UK, what they're doing with energy and what they're doing with immigration is horrible.
So he says his mother and his father were born in the UK. As you can see here, Trump's father, Fred Trump, was born in New York City in 1905. Mehdi Hassan says, imagine if Joe Biden had forgotten where his own dad was born. By the way, this isn't the first time that Trump has falsely claimed his dad was born in Germany. Oh, I guess he was saying born in Germany. When he was actually born in New York. 25th Amendment. From your lips to God's ears, bro. From your lips to God's ears. All right. Then we get the deranged rant, where he gets every single thing he says here about Obama is a lie. Every single thing he says here about the Iran nuclear agreement is dead wrong. I've never seen anything more wrong than this.
Barack Hussein Obama made maybe the worst deal I've ever seen, because he gave all power in the Middle East to Iran. He went the exact opposite way, and I terminated that. If I didn't terminate that deal,
everything would be it would be like that meme where you're living in the beautiful futuristic city with the bright blue sky and the birds chirping and everybody's happy. Oh my God, I got to reel it in. I might just stroke out on air.
Sitting with a massive nuclear weapon 3 years ago, which would have been used already on Israel at least, and other countries also.
The Iranian nuclear agreement was Barack Obama's biggest success. It worked perfectly. Perfectly. We gave them their own money that we stole via sanctions. We gave them back their own money, and then they allowed in the IAEA to regulate their nuclear program so that they can only enrich to the level where they need power for their power grid and scientific research. They followed it perfectly. They verified it over a dozen times by the IAEA. Trump went in there and illegally violated the deal and ripped it up, and he's the reason why we now have the Jeffrey Epstein war. He's the reason why. None of this was necessary. This wasn't a problem. None of this was a problem at all. And what does he do? Flips the truth exactly on its head. This man is fucking Satan. He's Satan. And now he's going to go on an unhinged rant against Spain, because Spain was like, yeah, we don't want to take part in your illegal and offensive war against a country that's not a threat to anybody. And then now he spends time in the midst of the world falling apart. We're spiraling out of control. We're entering World War III. You have Americans dying all over the place. They're bombing elementary school girls in Iran. In the midst of all of that, he spares some time to go, you believe this Spain is horrible. In fact, now I'm gonna declare economic war on Spain.
Spain has been terrible. In fact, I told Scott to cut off all dealings with Spain. Spain, first of all, it started when every European nation, at my request, paid 5%, which they should be doing. And everybody was enthusiastic about it, Germany, everybody. And Spain didn't do it. And now Spain actually said that we can't use their bases. And that's all right. We could use their base if we want. We could just fly in and use it. Nobody's going to tell us not to use it. But we don't have to. But they were unfriendly. And so I told him, we don't want to. Spain has absolutely nothing that we need other than great people. They have great people. But they don't have great leadership. And as you know, they were the only country that in NATO would not agree to go up to 5%. I don't think they would agree to go up to anything. They wanted to keep it at 2%, and they don't pay the 2%. So we're going to cut off all trade with Spain. We don't want anything to do with Spain.
This is literally the Mad King, because they didn't want to partake in your illegal and offensive war. Therefore, now you're waging economic war on them. Guys, he's got to go. He's got to be impeached. This is so crazy. And by the way, what he's admitting here is what he's doing is totally illegal. That's not grounds, because they don't want to partake in your stupid illegal war. That's not grounds to say, now I'm going to tariff you and fucking wage economic war on you. Like the Supreme Court goes, the tariffs are illegal. He goes, great, I'm going to do more tariffs. What is this world we're living in? He does 17 things on a daily basis that are grounds for impeachment. He's got to get out of there. He's got to be locked up. This is not acceptable. What's happening here? I don't know why other people are not as fucking passionate about this as I seem to be. It's so crazy to me. Still not done. This press conference was an absolute disaster, y'all.
Do you have someone in mind right now? Because you said all the people you did have in mind have been taken out. What do you think?
Well, most of the people we had in mind are dead. So, we had some in mind from that group that is dead. And now we have another group. They may be dead also.
That's the most embarrassing shit I think I've ever heard in my life. But remember, I don't think it's an oops. I think that Israel is purposely targeting all the people that were theoretically maybe next in line to lead the country, that would even cooperate with the West. Because again, the ultimate plan is failed state. Balkanize Iran, make them fight each other, civil war, take them off the table as a regional power. We don't want to deal with anybody. They want to create a greater Israel and have total hegemony and dominance in the region. And so here's the president of the United States, who got played like a motherfucking fiddle, going, oh, well, look at all the people we would have worked with and would have liked to lead the country. They're dead. Yeah, they're dead because the axis of Epstein just fucking murdered them in carpet bombings. I told you, they targeted specific regions in Tehran that had the opposition leaders, that had the protesters, that were known for being against the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps. Now, Trump fucks up. And this is yet another area where he accidentally says the quiet part out loud. You guys know the way it works with Trump, right? If he says he's going to do something good, he's lying. He's not going to do that. But if he says he's going to do something bad, he 100% means it, and he will do that. It's an iron law of nature. If he says I'm going to do this good thing, he won't. If he says I'm going to do this bad thing, he will, okay? Listen closely to what he says here. He's basically going to accuse Iranian government officials of looting their treasury, raiding their banks as they, run out the back door. And listen to what he says about what he's learned about that. Listen.
Boeing 757, there was two of them, loaded. They took out all the seats. It was loaded with green cash. So much cash that it was in Virginia, Maryland, and Washington, D.C. They got all the cash from all the banks. They put it, and they flew it to Iran.
So what he's talking about here is, as part of the Iran agreement, we sanctioned Iran, stole their money, and this was when we gave back their own money so that they would allow in the IAEA and not create a nuke. So this is all perfectly legal. That's all exactly what was supposed to happen. He's making it seem like it's nefarious, but wait for it. Ready?
I never knew a president had that power. I'm going to maybe try it sometime if it's okay. I think I'm going to do it. I'll fly it somewhere. Nobody's ever seen anything.
Do you understand what he just said? I didn't know a president had that power. Maybe I'll try that sometime. He's saying I should go raid a bank, loot the treasury, steal the money, put it on a plane, and bring it wherever the fuck I want to bring it. That's what he's saying. Meanwhile, what he's describing from Obama was perfectly legal and exactly what the Iran deal, the JCPOA, called for. We had to return their own money to them that we had stolen. And the wheels start turning in his head. Well, I know I'm already trying to rob the American taxpayer to the tune of $10 billion, steal $10 billion, put it in my slush fund for the Board of Peace, where I'm like the emperor of the world and I control that money, right? Sue the IRS for $10 billion so that, again, I can shake down the American taxpayer and become even richer, right? And now he's going, why don't I just march into the bank? I'm the president. I could just march into the bank and be like, give me $1 billion. And they got to do it. This is how he's thinking. This is how he's thinking. This man is crashing out. He's not there. He's unhinged. He's losing it. And he fucking means that shit. Just like when he said we shouldn't have elections. Now he's doing shit to try to make it so we don't have elections. Oh my God. And then finally, I'll leave you with this. President Trump orders the U.S. Developmental Finance Corporation to provide political risk insurance and guarantees for all maritime trade traveling through the Persian Gulf. Trump also says the U.S. Navy will begin escorting tankers through the Strait of Hormuz. So all of the insurance companies were like, we're not going through the Strait of Hormuz. There's a hot war going on here. We are not going to take that risk, okay? Which means oil prices are going to skyrocket, which means the economy is fucked. So Trump is going, I'm going to send U.S. troops there to protect you. Here's the problem. Our radar was taken out. Iran destroyed our radar. So if there's somebody's launching a missile at us, if Iran's launching a missile at us, we wouldn't even know it's coming. Trump is literally sacrificing American soldiers, sacrificing people in the Navy at the altar of the Jeffrey Epstein war. The axis of Epstein is making a blood sacrifice of American soldiers for the Jeffrey Epstein war. This is insane. These people are going to get fucking cooked 10 ships. They've already shot 10 ships. They've already shot 10 ships. And they'll fucking come after us too. Oh my God, bro. Like, this is why Trump's keeps, more are gonna die. Because he's sending them to die. That's what he's doing. Again, this is out of control. He's got to go. He's got to go. He's got to go. I don't like, what are we waiting for? What are you waiting for? Democrats, wakey, wakey. The 0.1% of Republicans that still have a conscience or any semblance of morality, wakey, wakey. What are we doing here? This is the Fourth Reich. They're creating the Fourth Reich. Everybody's pretending like everything is normal. It is not normal. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.